Okay, so imagine this. You're like 20-something and on your way to being a millionaire.
Yeah, ambitious, right?
Totally. But maybe not as impossible as it sounds.
I mean, based on what we're looking at today, it seems a lot more doable than you might think.
Right. So basically, we're going to look at what seems to be a bit of a playbook for hitting some serious financial success early on.
Like a set of strategies that pop up again and again with people who've done just that.
Exactly. And specifically, we're diving deep into this document called 7 Principles to Become a Millionaire in Your 20s.
And it's super interesting because it's not like some get-rich-quick scheme or anything.
No, not at all.
It's more about principles that have been observed, right?
Yeah, observe strategies that actually work.
Yeah, exactly. It's like looking for patterns in the stories of people who made it big financially, early in life.
Yeah. So what are these common threads?
And how can we learn from them?
Exactly. And that's our mission today, to really unpack these 7 principles.
Not as some kind of fantasy, but as actual strategies you can use.
Yeah, we want to get to the core of what they are, and most importantly, why they might be so impactful for you.
Sounds good. Let's jump right in.
So principle number 1, mindset matters.
This is like the foundation,
Yeah, you always hear success starts with how you think, and this principle really digs into that.
Totally. It's about cultivating a mindset that looks for opportunities instead of getting stuck on limitations.
Right. The idea is that people who achieve this level of financial success tend to see the world differently.
They're not necessarily luckier or smarter, but they focus on what's possible.
Yeah, and finding solutions instead of getting hung up on obstacles.
Yeah, it's like a proactive approach.
So instead of hitting a wall and giving up,
they're figuring out how to climb over it, or even if that wall might actually be an opportunity in disguise.
Okay, I like that. So the source gives us some really practical steps to actually develop this kind of mindset.
Like what kind of stuff?
Well, it suggests checking out thought-provoking material like Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
Oh yeah, that's a classic.
It really delves into the psychology of success.
Right, and it also highlights the importance of your environment.
Huge. Who you surround yourself with matters.
Absolutely. Spend time with people who have ambitious goals and try to limit your exposure to negativity.
Because those people you're around all the time, they can either fuel your aspirations or hold you back without even realizing it.
It's about creating a positive space around you, a space where growth is encouraged.
And I love this analogy they used, comparing your brain to a muscle.
Interesting. Okay, I'm listening.
The more you exercise it with positive, ambitious thoughts, the stronger it gets at spotting and grabbing those opportunities.
Makes sense. The more you flex that mental muscle, the better you get at it.
Exactly. So it's not like you're born with this mindset.
It's something you can develop and strengthen over time.
With consistent effort and focus.
And they finish with a really powerful question for you. What's one step I can take today toward my million?
I love that it takes this abstract concept of mindset and makes it a daily practice.
Right. So what's that one small thing you can do today to change your thinking or focus?
Boom. There's your homework. All right, let's move on to principle number 2.
Hit me with it.
Multiple income streams.
This is super relevant today.
You can't just rely on one paycheck anymore. Got to diversify.
Yeah. Multiple streams of income give you a safety net and speed up how fast you build wealth.
Big time. And your 20s are the perfect time to start exploring this.
Yeah, you often have more time and energy before things like family commitments really kick in.
For sure, it's a time to explore and build a solid financial base.
Absolutely. And the good news is it's easier than ever to create additional income streams these days.
Thanks to the internet and all these online platforms.
Exactly. You just need to figure out what you can offer.
A skill, a product, some awesome content like what we're doing here.
And find people who are willing to pay for it.
And the document gives us some concrete examples of what these side hustles can look like.
Okay, let's hear them.
Freelancing, if you've got some skills, maybe e-commerce like drop shipping.
That's a popular one.
Or even creating content using your passions.
Turning your hobby into a hustle.
Exactly. And they even have this specific example of selling digital templates online.
Okay, that's something anyone can do.
They say you could potentially make an extra $500 a month within 90 days.
That's a pretty achievable goal.
Right. It makes the whole concept less intimidating when you see real numbers.
For sure, breaks it down.
They also use this awesome analogy of planting seeds for a money tree.
I like that.
The more seeds you plant in different spots, the bigger and more diverse your financial harvest will be.
Makes sense. Spread the risk and spread the reward.
Exactly. Principle number 3, invest early.
Ah, yes. The magic of compound interest.
And the source is spot on time is your biggest asset when it comes to this.
Totally. The earlier you start investing, the more time it has to grow exponentially.
It's like that snowball effect, earning returns on your returns, and it just gets bigger and bigger over time.
Exactly. And starting small is totally fine.
Even $100 a month can grow into something huge over the long term.
And they suggest things like low-cost index funds like the S&P 500.
Yeah, those are great for diversification and usually have lower fees than actively managed funds.
Right. You're basically betting on the overall growth of the market.
Exactly. And they point to specific investment vehicles you can check out.
Like what?
A Roth IRA, for example, which can offer some tax advantages for retirement.
That's a great option, especially when you're young and in a lower tax bracket.
For sure. Or a regular brokerage account, which gives you more flexibility.
Right. You can invest in pretty much anything with that.
Yeah, and to really hammer home how important this principle is, they quote Albert Einstein.
Oh, wow. Einstein talking about money.
Apparently, he called compound interest the eighth wonder of the world.
I mean, he wasn't wrong. It's pretty amazing how it works.
So the takeaway is, clear start investing now, even if it's just a little bit.
Consistency and time, those are the keys.
All right, principle number 4, live below your means.
A classic for a reason.
It's about spending less than you earn, so you have something to save and invest.
The foundation of good financial habits.
And the source explains it in a way that's really relatable.
How so?
They say that people who become millionaires young usually don't spend a ton on flashy stuff.
Especially early on, they're focused on building long-term wealth.
Yeah, they're not chasing that instant gratification with material possessions.
They're thinking ahead, prioritizing assets over liabilities.
Exactly. And by keeping expenses lower than your income, you create that financial cushion.
And free up more money to invest.
And they give some practical steps to put this principle into action.
Like what?
Track your spending so you know where your money's going.
Yeah, budgeting is key, even if it's just basic.
Then look for things you can cut unnecessary subscriptions or expenses that don't really add value.
God, and those leaks.
And aim to save at least 20% of your earnings.
That's a good target.
And get this, they use Warren Buffett as an example of frugality.
No way, Mr. Big Bucks himself.
Apparently, he still lives in the same house he bought back in 1958.
Wow, talk about long-term thinking.
Shows you that real wealth isn't about showing off.
It's about financial freedom and the choices that come with it.
And they flip the whole idea of living below your means into a positive thing.
Not about deprivation.
Right. It's about being smart with your money so you can invest it and grow your wealth.
Makes sense. All right, what's next?
Principle number 5, learn high-value skills.
This is all about investing in yourself.
Exactly. And the source points out that when you're in your 20s, your biggest asset isn't money.
It's your potential to learn and adapt.
Yep. Your ability to acquire skills that are in demand.
Your human capital, that's what they call it.
And the more valuable your skills are, the more you can potentially earn.
They even give some examples of what these in-demand skills might be.
Like coding and software development, all that digital marketing stuff.
Huge growth areas right now.
Sales and negotiation, graphic design.
Lots of opportunity there.
And they highlight how easy it is to learn these things these days.
With all the online resources we have.
YouTube, Udemy, even X tutorials.
Learning has become so accessible.
You don't need to go the traditional expensive route anymore.
And they give a really compelling example. They say, learning video editing could potentially double your income in a year.
Whoa, that's a serious return on investment.
Shows you the direct impact learning a valuable skill can have on your earnings.
So the connection is clear. The better your skills, the more you can make.
Invest in yourself. It might be the best investment you ever make.
Okay, on to principle number 6, network. Like a pro.
Building relationships is key to success.
You rarely make it big all on your own.
Your network can open so many doors.
The source emphasizes that people who become millionaires young often do it through the connections they make.
It's about more than just individual effort. It's about building relationships.
And they give some specific networking strategies that are especially relevant for people in their 20s.
Like what?
Going to industry events and conferences.
Putting yourself out there.
Joining online communities related to your interest.
Finding your tribe.
Even reaching out to people on platforms like X or LinkedIn.
Yeah, sending thoughtful messages, adding value to the conversation.
Not just collecting contacts, but building real relationships.
With people who are where you want to be or who have different perspectives that can help you grow.
And they share an example of someone who met their future business partner at a local startup meetup.
See, sometimes those casual encounters can lead to something huge.
You just never know.
Yeah.
So put yourself out there. Go to those events.
Increase your chances of meeting those key people.
And they also stress the importance of your immediate social circle.
The people you spend the most time with.
Surround yourself with ambitious, driven people.
People who inspire you to grow and push you to achieve more.
Because those people can really influence your mindset, your beliefs, your whole trajectory.
It's like a positive feedback loop. Everyone's pushing each other forward.
And they use that powerful saying, your network is your net worth.
Love that one.
It really sums up how important those professional relationships are.
All right, last but not least, principle number 7.
Take calculated risks.
Growth requires stepping outside your comfort zone.
And embracing a bit of uncertainty.
But the key here is calculated.
It's not about being reckless. It's about making informed decisions.
Where the potential upside is worth it.
Exactly. And they point out why your 20s are often the best time to take those risks.
You often have fewer responsibilities.
Less to lose, so you can be a bit more flexible.
And you have more time to recover if things don't go as planned.
And they give some examples of what these calculated risks could look like.
Like starting a business.
Pitching a bold new idea.
Or even relocating for better opportunities.
These are all decisions that have some uncertainty.
But they also have the potential for big rewards.
And they use Elon Musk as an example, someone who took some big risks early on.
With Tesla and SpaceX, those were bold moves.
And it paid off big time.
But it's important to remember those kinds of ventures are high risk.
For sure. And they make it clear that taking calculated risks isn't the same as being reckless.
It's about doing your research, weighing the pros and cons.
Then making a move based on that information.
Not just winging it.
Exactly. And they end with that classic line. Fortune favors the bold.
It's a call to action to step outside that comfort zone.
And take those well-considered leaps of faith.
So as we wrap up this deep dive,
We've covered a lot.
7 principles that can really help you build wealth in your 20s.
Starting with that all-important mindset.
Looking for opportunities instead of limitations.
Then diversifying your income streams.
So you're not relying on just one paycheck.
Harnessing the power of compound interest by investing early.
Even small amounts can grow significantly over time.
Living below your means, so you have more to save and invest.
Creating that financial cushion.
Continuously learning high-value skills.
So you can increase your earning potential.
Building a strong professional network.
Your network is your net worth, remember?
And taking those calculated risks.
That can lead to big rewards.
And the key takeaway here is that achieving financial success, especially at a young age, it's not about luck.
It's about taking action and making smart choices.
It's about implementing these principles consistently.
So the question for you listening is, how can you start incorporating these principles into your own life?
Which one resonates most with you right now?
Or which one feels like the best place to start?
Think about it. Which principle aligns with your strengths and the opportunities you have?
And which one represents the area where you see the most potential for growth?
These principles, they really do offer a roadmap to a solid financial future.
So spend some time today thinking about how you can weave them into your own path.
Keep exploring how each one can be applied to your specific situation and your goals.
It's all possible.
You just got to start taking action.
One step at a time.
On that note, we'll wrap things up here.
Until next time.
Keep learning, keep growing, keep diving deep.
And keep aiming for those millions.
We'll catch you in the next deep dive.
See that.